It's the final business day of the week, and this is Business Incorporated coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago. Today on the show, Nigeria Banking and Investment Forum holds at the London Stock Exchange. MSCI says Nigeria stocks will remain part of its frontier indexes and are no longer under review for a possible demotion. Plus, bids for an inaugural 6 billion cedi energy bond being issued by Ghana closes today. We begin with the good news for Nigeria, as the index provider MSCI says Nigeria stocks will remain part of its frontier indices and no longer under review for a possible demotion, a status which the securities had been under since September 2016 after the government introduced capital controls. According to MSCI, the market will be removed from the review list for potential reclassification to standalone status, adding that the central bank's introduction of a new foreign exchange window in April had improved the situation for foreign investors. Market participants have indicated that since the establishment of this window, funds can be repatriated at close to the official rate. Concerns on the spreads and delays which investors have earlier experienced have also eased. And for the intraday trading today, the Nigerian market is still treading waters. Despite the news, the Nigerian stocks will still remain part of MSCI Frontier Index. At intraday, the index was down 0.34%. Nigerian breweries and international breweries remain the laggards. The market in South Africa was also in the red, down 0.01%. Egypt and Kenya are closed. That was the opening of trading today at the London Stock Exchange as the Nigeria Banking and Investment Forum begins today. Nigeria Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele, who is at the event, wants the Nigerian Stock Exchange to broaden its market rules in order to accommodate small and medium enterprises. Mr. Emefiele says the dynamics of current global markets makes it imperative for regulators to tinker with their rules every now and then in order to meet their set objectives. Aside from the CBN governor, the Nigerian delegation includes the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, Director General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, and the Chief Executive Officer of AfriInvest, Ike Chuke. Channels Television is covering this event, and our correspondent, Runke Raji, will be joining us later on the show to talk more about this. Well, still in Europe, stocks were higher on Friday morning, supported by upbeat earnings and the prospect of continuing stimulus in Europe. For more, I'm being joined by Daniel Koob, all the way from Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Good afternoon, Daniel. Thank you very much for joining us today. Beautiful Friday afternoon.
Yeah, beautiful Friday here in Frankfurt as well. I guess everybody here on the Stock Exchange also excited about the upcoming weekend and also excited, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, about rising share prices here at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange.
Sure is a beautiful one. Well, the European Central Bank has said that it would cut back with its scheme designed to boost economies in the Eurozone, while extending its monetary stimulus program until at least September 2018. Now, how is the market digesting these dovish statements from Mario Draghi?
Well, I guess you remember, Chimi, that during the last time we were always talking that we were kind of struggling here with this magical 13,000 point mark at the stock exchange. And pretty much everything changed after yesterday, after this news came out that this bond purchasing program of the European Central Bank will be cut down from 60 billion euros a month to just 30 billion euros a month. After that, we have seen rising shares here at the stock market. Also, the blue chip index DAX is profiting very much because the euro is being a little bit weaker. We know when we always have a very strong euro currency that this is usually harming the export business. So I guess you can see it in the past. Let me just have a little look. We are right now at 13,231 points, so a big plus. So I can tell you that investors here have been very much appreciating this latest news.
Well, that's indicative of how the investors feel about that news. Well, you're reporting live there from the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, of which the CEO, Carsten Kengester, will be stepping down by the end of 2017. Was this departure part of the allegations of insider trading being leveled against him?
Well, this insider trading story has been going, up and down here throughout the last weeks and months. Pretty much the stock exchange company was mostly focusing on this. I guess at the end, Carsten Kengester just didn't have another choice. We remember that he wanted to agree on a settlement with the courthouse here in Frankfurt. He wanted to pay 500,000 euros. The Frankfurt Stock Exchange would have paid an enormous amount of 10 million euros, pretty much to get him out of this. This week, after the Frankfurt court announced that this case is just too important in order to stop it, they were saying, and that's also what analysts were telling me, he just didn't have any other option, to resign, or at the end, the Frankfurt Stock Exchange would have announced that they would not extend his contract, which was anyway due in February next year. So now we are hearing that he is going to step down at the end of the year. Official statement that he wants to make sure that Deutsche Börse is not any more, busy and not any more, involved in those latest headlines. But as I said, he probably didn't even have another choice.